The world is on edge. On June 21, 2025, the United States launched a powerful and highly targeted military strike on Iran's nuclear facilities in Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan. These are not just random locations, these are the heart of Iran's nuclear ambitions. With B-2 stealth bombers in the sky and bunker-buster missiles striking deep underground, the message was loud and clear. America has returned to hard power. President Donald Trump took to the stage soon after, boldly announcing that the sites were completely obliterated. According to him, the strikes were carried out with surgical precision and were aimed at completely dismantling Iran's nuclear capabilities. He didn't stop there. He warned the world, especially Iran, that if there's any further aggression or nuclear advancement, the response from the US would be swifter, stronger, and even more devastating. Meanwhile, the reaction from Israel was one of open celebration. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu congratulated President Trump, calling it a historic turning point, and praising his courage to act when others remained silent. President Isaac Herzog also echoed these sentiments, saying the attack was a step towards security, responsibility, and freedom in the region. In Jerusalem, thousands gathered in the streets waving Israeli and American flags, chanting slogans in support of the military action. But not everyone is applauding. In Tehran, the atmosphere was filled with fury. Iran's supreme leader condemned the strikes as a brutal violation of international law and declared that Iran will not sit quietly. He promised divine retribution and vowed that those responsible would face severe consequences. Iranian defense forces have since moved to high alert. Missile units have been repositioned, and intelligence reports suggest they are preparing for possible counterstrikes, not just against Israel, but potentially against US bases in the region. The United Nations quickly convened an emergency meeting. Countries across the world have weighed in. China and Russia have strongly condemned the attacks, labeling them as unilateral violations that risk pushing the world closer to a major war. The European Union has called for immediate diplomacy. Meanwhile, US allies like the UK, Canada, and Australia have taken a more cautious tone, urging restraint from both sides while refusing to directly criticize the United States. The global oil markets have already started to react. Prices are surging amid fears of supply disruptions, especially with tension building around the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical shipping lanes in the world. Investors are pulling back, airlines are rerouting, and travelers in the region have been warned to stay alert. To understand how we reached this moment, we need to rewind. Just days before, Israel had launched limited strikes on what it claimed were Iranian missile facilities. Iran responded with a wave of drones and ballistic missiles aimed at Israeli territory. That was the spark. What we saw on June 21st was the explosion. The US, stepping in to support its ally, launched what may be one of the most consequential military actions in recent history. So what's next? We could be heading toward another prolonged conflict in the Middle East. Or perhaps this moment will push the world powers back to the negotiation table. One thing is clear, this is not a one-day story. This is a global turning point. As the dust settles and the world watches, the question now is, how will Iran respond? And will diplomacy rise from the rubble? Or are we witnessing the opening moves of something far more dangerous? Stay with us for continuous coverage, verified analysis, and real-time updates on what could be the most defining global conflict of our time.